All right, let's jump right into this explainer. When you look up at the night sky, you're seeing literally countless stars and planets. Yet, as far as we know, we are sitting on the absolute only rock capable of supporting life. It makes you wonder, right? Why is our home this lonely, vibrant oasis in the middle of a vast, incredibly hostile solar system?
So why is Earth the only planet with life? Well, to figure that out, we've got to peel back the layers of this massive, interconnected planetary machine. Earth isn't just some random collection of rock and water floating around. Oh no, it's a highly complex, dynamic system where literally every single element relies on the others. If you tweak just one tiny ingredient in our planetary recipe, the whole shebang falls apart. So today, we're going to explore exactly what makes this world so perfectly tuned for us. So let's kick things off by zooming in from the freezing vacuum of deep space right down to our orbital placement. You know, when our solar system settled into its current layout about 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was formed from this chaotic, swirling cloud of gas and dust to become the third planet from the Sun. And honestly, that specific placement, that's where our incredible story really begins.
We are sitting exactly 1 astronomical unit, or about 93 million miles away from the Sun. This is what astronomers call the ultimate Goldilocks zone. To put that crazy distance into perspective, it takes light from the Sun roughly 8 minutes to cross the void and hit our planet. This positioning is absolutely crucial. We aren't too close to our star, and we aren't too far away. We're in this incredibly precise sweet spot that allows for a very, very special set of temperatures.
And that perfect distance is exactly what allows us to have liquid water. Just think about our closest neighbors for a second. We're slightly larger than Venus, making us the biggest of the 4 rocky planets closest to the Sun. But we're the only one in the entire solar system where the temperature allows liquid water to just hang out on the surface. Compare that to the literal boiling, toxic surface of Venus or the frozen, barren deserts of Mars. It's a stark contrast. But here's the thing, distance alone isn't quite enough to keep a planet stable.
So as we move in closer, zooming past those temporary asteroids that occasionally get snagged by Earth's gravity, we hit our one and only natural satellite. And our moon is actually incredibly unique. While a lot of moons out there are basically just random space rocks captured by a planet's gravity, ours has a much more dramatic origin story. Billions of years ago, when Earth was still young, a massive planetary body literally smashed right into us. That massive collision displaced a huge chunk of Earth's interior, which then clumped together in orbit to form the moon we see today.
Now, our moon isn't just a pretty glowing orb in the night sky. It's actually a massive gravitational anchor. It actively stabilizes our planet's wobble and regulates our climate, making Earth a genuinely great home over the course of millennia. Think about it. Earth's axis is tilted at 23.4 degrees, which is what gives us our predictable yearly cycle of seasons. Without the moon acting as that gravitational anchor, that tilt would fluctuate wildly over time. We'd be looking at extreme, catastrophic shifts in our climate that would make complex life pretty much impossible to sustain.
Okay, zooming in even closer, as we approach the planet itself, we crash into an invisible barrier. And this barrier is absolutely vital for every single living thing down below. It's totally invisible to the human eye, but it extends way out into space, acting like a massive sci-fi-style force field for our world.
You might be wondering, what exactly are we being protected from? Well, our sun doesn't just give us nice light and warmth. It's constantly blasting out this intense stream of charged particles known as the solar wind. Without our invisible shield, that deadly, continuous stream of solar radiation would literally strip our planet bare. It would slowly tear away our entire atmosphere, leaving us totally exposed to the harsh, lethal radiation of deep space. No thank you.
What's truly wild about this shield, which we call the magnosphere, is that it isn't created in the sky. It's generated deep within the planet itself. The solar wind actually blasts it and distorts this magnetic field into a giant teardrop shape out in space. And the coolest part? We can actually see this shield working. When those charged solar particles get caught in our magnetic field, they crash into air molecules high above our poles. Those molecules get energized and start to glow, creating the absolutely spectacular light shows we call the Northern and Southern Lights. Just incredible.
But to really understand how this shield works, we've got to look deep inside the planet. Earth's internal structure is incredibly dynamic. At the very center, you've got the inner core, the solid sphere of iron and nickel baking at an unbelievable 9,800 degrees Fahrenheit. Surrounding that is the outer core, made of fluid iron and nickel. And above that is the mantle, this thick, crazy hot layer with the consistency of warm caramel. As our planet rapidly spins, that fluid outer core sloshes around the solid inner core. It basically acts like a giant planetary dynamo, generating the magnetic field and projecting it thousands of miles out into space. And it's exactly because of that churning magnetic core that we can finally descend into the atmosphere and oceans that actually manage to survive on the surface. That deep internal heat engine doesn't just create a force field, it keeps our surface dynamic and allows the super delicate elements of life to thrive.
Now, the atmosphere isn't just air as we think of it, it's this perfectly balanced blanket of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen that acts as another shield against radiation, and it even burns up incoming meteoroids. That remaining 1% of other gases, things like carbon dioxide and argon, well, that's critical too for regulating our surface temperature. It's the literal perfect balance for us to breathe and live. Plus, thanks to the friction in this atmosphere, most meteoroids heading our way are completely destroyed before they can even think about striking the surface.
Beneath that protective atmospheric blanket, a staggering 71% of our planet's ever-shifting tectonic surface is covered by a global ocean. This provided the ultimate, convenient little incubator for life to kick off about 3.8 billion years ago. And I say ever-shifting because our crust is divided into massive lithospheric plates that are always on the move. To put that in perspective for you, the North American plate is moving west over the Pacific Ocean basin right now at roughly the exact same speed that your fingernails grow. It's crazy. This active geology builds our mountains and valleys, while our massive oceans, which, by the way, hold 97% of Earth's water, provide the perfect conditions for life.
So, stepping back, we can see that life isn't just supported by having some water or some air. It's supported by the combined machinery of the entire planet working perfectly in tandem. From sitting exactly 93 million miles away from the sun, to having a massive moon that keeps our tilt steady, to a churning 9,800-degree molten core projecting an invisible magnetic force field that holds in a perfectly blended atmosphere and deep liquid oceans, Earth is literally the ultimate system of systems.
But because this cosmic recipe, our orbit, our moon, the core, the atmosphere, is so incredibly specific, NASA actually notes that this delicate balance is highly vulnerable to changing climates. The exact same intricately linked systems that make our planet an absolute paradise also mean that a significant change in just one area, like, say, the composition of gases in our atmosphere, cascades through the rest of the entire system.
So the next time you look up at the moon, or you catch a shooting star burning up in the atmosphere, just remember the wildly unlikely chain of events keeping us safe in this cosmic oasis. It really puts things into perspective. But it also leaves us with one vital, lingering question that we all need to consider. If Earth is a perfectly balanced planetary machine, what happens when we disrupt the gears?